Hello my sweets, it's Keisha. Welcome back to my channel and thank you for choosing to watch my video. Today I'm excited to show you how I made a reversible fall Halloween sign using Dollar Tree items. It's the perfect indoor or outdoor decor solution, giving you two festive looks in one easy, budget-friendly project. Whether you want fall cozy vibes or spooky Halloween fun, this DIY has you covered with just a quick flip. So let's dive into this versatile craft that's both affordable and creative. So I have three signs here from the Dollar Tree, and they are listed as decor. This is a fall one, and then the other two are Halloween ones. And I'm going to be working on the fall one first. So I'm going to set this Halloween one to the side for now. And I did have this one that actually had a wooden piece on it. You may be able to see the remnants, but it did say poison and it had the skull in there. I went ahead and just took my heat gun along with a little spatula and took it off so that I could go ahead and double this up. And the reason why I'm doubling it up is because for some reason this fall one is a little bit smaller than the ones for Halloween. So I need them to both match. So I'm going to go ahead and take off the strings, and I'll be using this wood tint, and I will be right back to get started. So I realized that I needed to fill the holes on these where the original hangers came out from. So what I have here is some lightweight spackling, and I put some pieces of masking tape on the back. And what I'm going to do is use this spatula to go ahead and use the spackle to go ahead and fill those holes. So I'm just going to take a little bit, and I'm going to make it just proud of the hole, just in case it kind of shrinks back a little bit. I'm going to do that on both of these holes. I've already done this one to kind of give it a head start since this is the one that I want to work on first. So I'm going to have to let these have a little bit of drying time, but I just wanted to show you how I was going to go ahead and fill over these holes. You don't necessarily have to use spackling. You can also use wood filler if you have that. I've also even seen people use hot glue to fill in holes. I have the spackling, so I'm going to use it. So I'm going to go ahead and let this dry. Then I'm going to take sanding block and sand it so that it's level, and then we'll be ready to get started with painting. So I've gotten the speckled sanded off nicely. So now what I'm going to do is go ahead and take this Folk Art Home Decor wood tint, and it's in the color Walnut. And I just want to go around the edge here because the middle portion is all going to be covered with the other sign. So I'm just going to take a little bit of this here and just go along the edge. You don't have to, if you're wanting to redo this sign, you don't necessarily have to use this wood tint. If you don't have it, if you have some kind of stain, one of your favorite stains, you could do that. The Waverly antique wax would work great for this step also. And then I also wanted to add that you don't have to necessarily use this sign. I know that some Dollar Trees do carry just the plain sign that has nothing on the front or the back. Unfortunately, the Dollar Tree that I was at did not have them, so I had to improvise and take apart this sign here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and set this aside to dry, and then get the other piece out to work on. So next I'm going to go ahead and do a wash on the background of this, and what I have here is the Apple Barrel multi-surface satin paint in light tan, and I watered it down so it is a 2-to-1. So I have 2 parts water to 1 part paint in here. So I kind of just want to do a wash over the surface. So just going to get started and get this put on here. And I want to come right up to the edge of these pumpkins. I don't know that it would really much matter if it went over, but I'm just going to go right up to the edge of them. And I'm trying to paint this on with the grain of the wood here. So I'm pretty satisfied with the way that this looks. So I'm gonna go ahead and let this area dry, and then I will be back with the next step. Next, I have here a stencil, and it's one of those self-adhesive screen types. So, and I did get this through a maker studio. If they still have it available, I will be sure to link it in the description box below. If not, any stencil really will do, as long as you like it. So I'm just gonna be taking my masking tape here and mask off the sections that I don't want. So any of this wording here in the middle, I don't need it. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that, well, I know for sure I'm not going to be using any of the bottom of the stencil, but I'm not sure how far down it's going to come on the sides here, because I do want to have this going around this portion of the sign. So now I'm going to peel this off and then stick it down to the sign. And I just want to center this as best I can with what I can see. Okay, and I can kind of see where the pumpkins start over here. So I'm just going to run some tape like that. And if it goes over a little bit, it's okay, because I'm still doing some painting on this. Okay. I'm going to just turn this around. There, so I have a better view of what I'm getting ready to do next. So I have this scraper thing and my chalk paint, Waverly chalk paint in Ivory, and so I'm wanting to do it in Ivory. So I'm going to let's see if I can just work out of the lid here with the paint. I'm just gonna stick some on there and then just use this scraper to get it down in the mesh. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and peel this off. Let's turn it around. Okay, so that's what that's looking like so far. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and let this dry down a little bit. And I'm gonna go ahead and get this stencil cleaned off. You want to, anytime you're dealing with any kind of screen stencil, you want to clean it right away so that you get more longevity with it. So I'm going to go ahead and take care of this, and then I'll be back with the next step. So next what I have here is the saying that I want to have go on here, and I decided to go online and just look for a Happy Fall Y'all free printable. I was able to find that. I will again link this in the description box if you're interested in it. And I'm gonna do the pencil method on here. So I'm going to take a pencil and just color across the back of this. And then once I'm doing that, done doing that, I'll be able to lay this down right side up where I want it, and then go ahead and copy it over. Another method is if you have carbon paper, I think it's called carbon paper, you can use that to, in between, sandwiched in between your surface and your paper, and you can transfer it that way. If you have a vinyl cutting machine, you can do it out of vinyl. I'm just going to cut this down so I have better visibility of where I'm going to place this. And I'm just going to feel like I didn't come down far enough on some of these letters. I think that's going to be good. Alright, so I'm just going to decide where I want to place this. And maybe I might try to center it. Let's see if I can do that. I got rid of that hole so good I can't even see it. Oh, because it's on two sides. Never mind me. Okay, so I think I'm just going to try to get it as centered as best I can. And then I'm just going to take just a little piece of masking tape here and just kind of stick it right there so it doesn't move too much. So now I'm just going to go ahead and trace out around the letters. I'm looking to see if I have a different color here so I can kind of see where I went or where I've been. So, okay. So I can see this. So I'm going to go ahead and trace this out. And before I go too much further, let me just make sure that that is working. And I can't see it. So I'm going to need to do this darker. Let's try it again. I'm still having a hard time seeing this, but I'm just gonna trace it out the best I can. Once I get it transferred over, I will start painting. But I was saying, I don't know if you can see it, but I have a pretty good view. And what I'm gonna do now is take my pencil and just kind of line it in a little bit more for myself in certain areas that I'm having trouble seeing. And then I'm going to go ahead and get to the paint. So I'm just using my little pencil here, and I'm also kind of looking at this as a guide. So I'm going to go ahead and paint in the Happy Fall Y'all portion, and I'm going to be doing it with this Apple Barrel Multi-Surface Satin in Milk Chocolate. I'm just going to put a little bit out here on my palette, and I just have a small brush. And I'm just going to go around the outline first, and then I can come back and fill it in. So next I'm going to come in and paint the pumpkins, 3 different colors here, and I have soft green, terracotta, and honey mustard. And then I also have there's 2 leaves here. I'm going to be using this mountain forest for those. So I'm going to get started with the soft green and start painting these in. Okay, so I'm looking at these and I'm not really feeling how they're looking. So I think I'm going to take their base color that they are and mix them with a little bit of brown. So I'm just going to take some of this brown here Okay, so I'm going to take that new color that I just made, and I'm going to go in these separate areas here. I don't even know what they're called. But I'm going to do that and see if that helps this along a little bit. Okay, so that's what that's looking like so far, and I do like that a little bit better. And so I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing with this yellow one, and then the same thing also with the terracotta one. And then I will be back with the next step. Okay, so now I'm ready to go ahead and glue these two pieces together. And I'm going to be using some Tite Bond wood glue to do that. And I just want this to go right over as centered as I can get it. So I'm going to go ahead and start putting some wood glue on. And you may have noticed that the painting looks a little bit different than where I kind of left off. And so I just wanted to say that after I did the darker around the edges of the pumpkins, I was not feeling how the pumpkins looked. So I went ahead and just did a little bit of highlighting on the inside of the pumpkins. So just like I mixed the colors on the edges with the dark, I went ahead and took the base colors of each one of the pumpkins and mixed them with an off-white color. So to make it darker, I mixed them with the milk chocolate, and then to make it lighter, I did it with the off-white. I mixed the colors with an off-white. So I'm going to go ahead and line this up here. And bring it up so that I can see. And I have some clamps here that I'm going to use. I found these in the Crafters Square section at Dollar Tree. Just so that they don't ruin my sign here, I am going to just put a little piece of paper towel. I'm going to go ahead and dig out a couple more just to clamp in these areas. But then all I'm going to do now is just set it aside to dry. And I'm going to get the Halloween side of the sign out. Okay, so I'm ready to go ahead and do the trick-or-treat side of the sign. And I'm going to start with the base colors, which are going to be the Waverly chalk paint. This is elephant, and then also ink. I also have a couple of other colors that I'm going to be using throughout the project. I have Scallion here and pumpkin. And then for the acrylic paints, I'll be using wild grapes, off-white. And then I have two different kinds of glow-in-the-dark. This one's a neutral glow-in-the-dark, and this one is a glitter glow-in-the-dark. So we're going to try these out in this project today. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. And again, I will list all of the paints and materials I used in the description box below if you missed anything and you want to recreate this project. Start in the lid here. And I'm going to be painting the inner portion of it, this elephant, and then towards the end I'm going to be trying to fade it out to the ink color. Okay, so I am happy with the way that this is looking so far. So now I'm going to start coloring in the letters, and I'm going to be using the Wild Grapes Purple for that. Just get a little bit out here. Let's see. And I'm just going to fill in all the letters with this purple. And I forgot to mention that on this one here with the pumpkin, I did go ahead and make a faint line here so that I knew where to stop the purple and then the orange for the pumpkin, and then also around here for the spider web. So I ended up finishing the purple off screen, and I did 3 coats. And then after that, what I did was I took a white color pencil and did a freehand design. The only portion I didn't freehand is the little moon face that I have down here. And I just did the same method of finding a moon face that I liked, and then I printed it off and did the scribbling on the back, except this time I used chalk. But other than that, the rest of this is freehand. So now what I'm going to do is go ahead and fill this in with a variety of these 3 colors here, which is the Apple Barrel Off-White, Waverly Chalk Paint in Scallion, and the Waverly Chalk Paint in Pumpkin. So I'm going to get started with, I think I want to work my way from the inside out. So I'm going to start with this pumpkin here and go from there. So I will fast forward you through parts of this, and so that you don't have to sit here and watch me painstakingly paint this whole thing. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. All right, so I think I am about done with the sign. I will have to come in and do maybe 1 or 2 more coats on the ore, but as far as the rest of it goes, I'm really liking how it looks like it's actually drawn on like a chalkboard, so I am going to leave it like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back in after all of this has dried down, and I'm going to try some of these glow-in-the-dark paints on them. So once that's all dry, I will be back. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and apply this invisible glow, and I'm actually going to do it on this trick-or-treat part, I think over the whole thing, and hopefully it's invisible. I've already squeezed some out on this piece of paper, so I'm hoping that it does dry clear. If it doesn't, then here we are. I'm going to go ahead and put this on. And I'm sorry, it's called Stardust, Invisible by Folk Art. I think it's supposed to be a glitter because I'm seeing some glitter in here. So maybe I'm supposed to, I don't know. I'm going to paint it on and then I guess test it. I feel like though whenever I move just slide the brush across, the glitters are sticking together or something, so I'm just going to get this on here the best that I can and then test it and see if it really works. It does go on here a little bit of a milky color. On the screen that I'm looking at, it looks kind of like it's just wet, but it goes on more of like there, like a milky color, and I'm hoping that it will dry clear. I'm going to do this over everything, the pumpkin and the spider web. I'll be ready to move on to the next step. I finished painting the trick-or-treat portion of the sign with this Folk Art Invisible Glow Stardust, and it is a glitter. And so I did all over the trick-or-treat sign, or trick-or-treat portion, and then I came back with this Folk Art Glow in the Dark, and it's a neutral glow. And I did the stars and I did the moon phases, the moon phase area with this. And I did cheat a little bit and charged it up to see what it would look like. And I have to say that I am not really feeling the glitter for this application. So I am going to end up probably trying to cover it up with this neutral glow, but I'm going to show you a picture here on the side of what I took, the picture that I took. But I do need to keep going with this for now. So once I get the whole thing complete, I think what I'll do is I'll go back over the actual trick-or-treat part and everything for it to glow fully. So now what I have here next is tumbling tower blocks, and this is how they come. I think they might come in a smaller pack still too, but this is what I have on hand. Now I do have some portioned out in a box. I'm sorry, in a bag. And I'm going to go ahead and get these put on the back of this side. Now I did go ahead and mark a line down the center because what I have next for this is a broom handle from Dollar Tree, and I want to have it up in the sign like this. You can see that. So I'm going to go ahead and tear off this label. Just wanted to keep it on there so that you all could see. So what I want to end up happening is to build up some tumbling tower blocks along the edge. I think I'll do a set of 2 here, and then I'll end up doing a set here and a set here. But I want to establish these first, and I'm going to try to get this as central as possible. But first what I need to do is figure out how many blocks I need and how to configure them to be able to just slide this up in between the 2 signs. So I'm starting with an L shape here to see if that'll work. Okay, so that is clearing. Let me see if I just lay them flat, if that'll clear. That does not clear. So what I'm going to have to do is lay them out in this type of configuration. Unless if I go 3 high. I could go 3 high, but I think if I do 3 high, I have to do 3 high all the way around. So I am just going to do the L shape like this. So I'm going to be putting these together with the Type Bond Premium Wood Glue and a little bit of hot glue as well. So let me, I'm going to do 4 sets of these for now. Wood glue is going to have the more permanent bond here, and I'm just using the hot glue for the quick part, for the quick hold. So I've gotten this portion ready. So next what I'm going to do, I'm not going to glue these down just yet because I do need to make more of them for around the perimeter of the sign. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the broom handle there, push these to the side, and I'm just going to make up, I think I'm going to start out with 12 and see how they fit, and then I will be back with you, and if I need more, then I'll make more, and I will let you know the total of how many blocks I used here. I finished gluing together all of the sets of tumbling tower blocks here, and I ended up making 19 of these sets, which means you would need a total of 38 blocks. So now what I'm going to do is glue them down. This is kind of how I want to have them configured. So first what I'm going to do is glue down the ones down the middle. Now the down the middle, I did, well, first I, 2, 1. So I drew a line down the middle, and then I drew a line a half an inch away on each side of that center line. And then I did a cross line to cut it in half this way. So I know that I want to put 2 here and 2 here. So first I'm going to start by putting these sets down. Then I'm going to turn it around and glue this top one so that I can then place these 2. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. And I'm using a combination again of wood glue and hot glue. My hot glue gun's not hot enough yet, so we'll just keep it moving. And I am placing this right along the edge of that line that I drew. And then let me move these so you can see. So I can show you, I'm putting it right on the edge of the circle there. The outside edge of this one here is going right on the edge. Okay, so I marked this one that I'm going to put at the top here. I just marked the center so that I can match it up along the center line. With this one, I just took it, let me turn it like this, hopefully those don't slide off. But I just took it and put the corners, it's sliding, but I wanted the corner edges to meet the edge of the circle. Now that my hot glue gun is warmed up, I'm just going to go ahead and kind of hold these in place and then just do a little bit of glue like that along the edge to kind of just hold those in place while the glue sets up. Okay, so these right here are what's going to hold our broomstick or a broom handle in place for the sign. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is go ahead and glue around the other ones, and I'm gonna have 2 across the middle here, 1, 2, and then I'm just gonna evenly distribute the rest of them. Like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Okay, I've gotten them all glued on, and again, this is what it looks like around the edge. You know, I didn't check to make sure I was doing it the right side up. Okay, I was. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and set this aside to dry, and then once the glue has had a chance to dry, I'm going to go ahead and glue the fall side of the sign right on top. Next, I want to work on the base, and what I have here is a pail from Dollar Tree, and it has the pumpkin faces on them. And what I want to do first is to try to remove one of the faces off, since only one side of it is Halloween and the other side is fall. I want to keep this face. Keep that other face, and then I'm going to try to remove this one. So I have some acetone here. It says 100% acetone on the container from Dollar Tree, and it comes in this cute little pump action. I have just a little shop towel here, and I'm gonna see if this acetone will remove this paint. See if I need to maybe soak it a little bit. I had my doubts, but it works. So I'm going to use this to remove this paint off so that I can have one side that's fall, just plain. And then the other side will be for the Halloween. Okay, so now that I've gotten that fully removed, what I'm going to do is go wash my hands. So I probably should have been wearing gloves with this. But I'm going to go wash my hands, and then I'm going to give this a nice little clean down with a little bit of soap and water, just in case there's any residue left. And then I'll be back with the next step. Okay, so next what I'm going to be working with is 2 of these floral foam. It says floral foam for silk flower blocks. And I've already gotten them unwrapped, and I marked the center of each one. And so you can see that this one already has a hole down in it. So what I did was after, I took off the top part of the broom handle here, and I just lined up the broom handle as best as I could. Oops, sorry. And then I just kind of pushed it down in there. And it just poured it out like an apple. I don't think I'm fully to the bottom yet. To the bottom. And the last one kind of went all the way up in there, but this one looks like it kind of just didn't go all the way through, but it is all the way through. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave that in there. And next, what I need to do is go ahead and connect these 2 blocks together. So in order for me to do that, excuse me, in order for me to do that, I'm going to go ahead and slide them back on the broom handle. This, and this is just going to be here temporarily, just so that I have them kind of the holes lined up. So I'm going to take some hot glue here, and I do have this one's a dual temp hot glue gun, so I have it set on low. So I'm going to go ahead and put some glue in here. I was just afraid that the high temp might melt this, and I don't particularly want that. So I'm just going to put some glue and then stick those 2 blocks together. I think that's about enough. Now I'm just going to push them together here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and slide that out, because next what I want to do is put it in, actually with this end. So I'm going to go ahead and stick that back in there, and I have my pail ready, because what I want to do is hot glue this portion here down into the pail, but I also want to use some E6000 glue on the actual, well, let's think about this. No, I'm not going to glue this in permanently. I'm going to glue this in, and I'm just going to put a little bit of hot glue and E6000 glue to glue it down into the bottom of the pail. And then that way, when the season's over, I can actually take it apart, break it down for easier storage. So what I'm going to do is first get my E6000 open, and I'm going to squeeze some of that out if I can. This is, I mean, I know that there's a lot more, but I don't have one of those turnkeys, so as far as I'm concerned, this is like down to the dregs. So I've gotten the E6000 in place, and now I'm going to put some hot glue. I'm just going to put a couple of big dollops. And in the bottom of this pail, I did use a screwdriver to kind of scratch it up a little bit. Hopefully that'll help give it some tooth for the glues to grab onto. And I'm just going to turn this over now and see if I can't but can see that center hole and line that right up, hopefully with the center hole. Yep, I can see the dark outline there. I'm gonna go ahead and press that down. And before I mess with it too much more, what I'm going to do is put something heavy on it and set it aside for a little while to let that E6000 start to dry up. And then I will be back. Okay, so I've gotten the sign all glued together here. But what I'm not feeling is how it looks from the side, and I really didn't think about that. So now what I need to do is disguise that. So what I did was I'm gonna take some of this faux leather from Dollar Tree, and I cut it down on the long side. So this is 20 inches long, and I cut it into a 1-inch strip. And what I'm gonna do is glue it around that edge to hide these gaps in here. I did find that when I went to put the this side of the sign on, it still didn't match up all the way, so I had to end up taking a file, a file, to knock off some of these corners as well, so they weren't visible from the front. So what I'm gonna do now is I think I'm gonna start from the center top and work my way around the edge till I come to the middle, and then I'm going to do the same with this one, just to finish this off so it doesn't look so unfinished, is what I'm going to say. So I'm going to go ahead and start by putting some hot glue here to get this started. I'm just going to stick that down, and now I'm just going to run this across, and I'm going to make sure that I put some glue on at least on the edges. I think that'll be all right, of the blocks that are showing, if I'm making sense. So here and here. So I'm just going to go along and do that until the whole thing is covered. And I think that'll finish it off really nice. Now what I'm going to do for the end, I accidentally stuck this piece all the way in there and I can't get it back out right now. But what I'm going to do for this side is cut it down a little bit. And then I'm going to take some glue on the back side of this faux leather. And I'm just going to push it down inside. And I'm going to try to get that other piece out. I got it. I'm going to do the same thing with this side. I'm just going to take a little glue here. I'm just going to slide it into the inside. Okay, and so I think that gave it a better finish than what it was before. And it actually matches the fall side really good. Okay, so for the bucket, now that this has been glued in, I'm going to take these decorative stones here. I have a couple packages of them. I'm just going to stick them around in here, still in the package, to weigh this down. Okay, so that's sufficiently weighed down now. And what I did also is I just took a piece of cardboard. This is a double corrugated cardboard, so it's a little bit thicker. And I cut it so it fit just inside of here. And then I cut a center hole also for our broom handle to be able to go down in there. Now you have a couple of options as to how you could fill this. I did film this section before, but I really didn't like how it turned out and I thought I could do better, so here I am. I have this piece of fabric left over from the accent pillow project, and if you haven't seen that video, I will link it above if you'd like to see that. But I'm just going to take this leftover fabric and kind of put it around here, and I'm just going to kind of tuck it under a little bit and around, so it kind of covers this piece of cardboard. Another option is you can put more stones on top. You can put moss. The sky's really the limit as to what you can do to disguise this area. Now, if you do plan on putting this outside, I would recommend that you put it under something covered, like a covered patio, which is what I'm going to do. But if not, you know, you can do things to kind of waterproof it. I don't like the way that looks. Just do that. Okay. So this will be for the, when I have the fall side up. For Halloween, what I'm going to do is use a bag of those rocks that I put underneath. I'm going to open it and kind of spread it out over the top rather than have this fabric there. The next thing is that I did cut down the broom handle here. I think here's the other piece of it. Let me just measure it right quick. And I took off about 11 inches to shorten the pole a little bit, because I felt like it was kind of too high up into the air. So now I can go ahead and stick this back down in here. And then the last thing I made before final pictures is I went ahead and just made a quick little bow with some leftover ribbon that I had from the wreath video. And I was able to get a 4-loop bow out of what was left to put this on there as well. And then for the Halloween side of it, I found some of this. It's like a tubing from Dollar Tree that I bought actually quite a while ago now. But I just made a bow out of it, and I thought it was pretty cute, actually. So I'm gonna go ahead and take some final pictures now so you can see what it looks like all put together. So stay tuned for that.
I hope this reversible fall Halloween sign inspires you to get creative with your seasonal decor. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more fun DIYs, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming projects. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Happy crafting!